There is a moment coming today where money and love ask you the exact same question, and if you are a Cancer, you will not be able to dodge it. Here is what is actually happening in your sky right now, and why today's answer could change how you handle both for months. Something is pressing on your chest today, Cancer, and it has a name. The Sun, sitting in your second house of resources, is locking into a direct opposition with Pluto in your eighth house of shared resources and intimacy. Think of it like two people pulling opposite ends of the same rope, your sense of personal stability on one side, and someone else's expectations, debts, or emotional demands on the other. This is a once-a-year alignment, and it is exact today, so whatever tension has been simmering around money, obligation, or who owes who is likely to surface with unusual clarity. From the Western tropical lens, this opposition is asking a very specific question. Where has your generosity quietly turned into overextension? Maybe it is a loan you never followed up on. Maybe it is a shared bill that has crept past what feels fair. Maybe it is simply the emotional price of staying vague instead of naming your actual limit. The chart is not punishing you here, it is illuminating something that was already tangled, so you can finally see the knot instead of just feeling it. Layer onto that a second, gentler thread. Jupiter is approaching what astrologers call a cazimi, a rare moment where Jupiter sits so close to the Sun that it is considered born into fresh light. This is not about Sun-Pluto's tension. It is a separate, slower invitation to actually register the value of your own time, skill, and energy, rather than proving your worth by fixing everyone else's problems. Hold onto that thread, because it is going to matter later. And then there is the Moon, which by tonight moves into Sagittarius, a quick, restless signal that may show up as scattered focus or a dip in confidence, especially around impressing the people you answer to at work. That is the daily weather. The Sun-Pluto opposition is the season. Here is what almost every general horoscope will miss about today. The tension is not really about money at all. It is about honesty. Take love. If you are partnered, this Sun-Pluto opposition may bring a conversation about shared finances or emotional debt. Who has carried more? Who has given more? Who has quietly kept score? The instinct for a Cancer is to smooth it over, to soothe the discomfort by offering more than you can sustainably give. Current transits suggest that is exactly the pattern worth interrupting today. If you are single, the same energy shows up differently. An unexpected attraction may spark a conversation that feels more emotionally honest than flattering, more real than romantic. That kind of exchange tends to matter more long-term anyway. Picture it like a bridge that has been quietly overloaded for months. It has not collapsed. But today, something asks you to check the weight before adding more to it. That is not a crisis. It is maintenance. But here is what changes everything about how this plays out at work. That same Sun-Pluto intensity, when it moves into the professional arena, does not just churn feelings. It can genuinely rattle your confidence and make it hard to put on your game face in front of seniors or peers. You may notice a pull toward overthinking, toward trying too hard to make the right impression instead of trusting the work you already know how to do. The good news, and this is the part most people scroll past, Neptune in your 10th house of career is currently sextiling Pluto. That is a supportive, flowing angle, not a hard one. It means the same emotional intensity you are feeling can be redirected rather than suppressed. Many people with this combination report that a creative solution to a nagging work problem arrives almost sideways, often when they have stopped forcing it. If obsessive thinking creeps in today, a mindless task paired with something genuinely engaging, a podcast, a walk, anything that occupies the surface mind tends to let that deeper insight surface on its own. And there is a practical thread here too. Despite the early confusion, the day often resolves into work actually getting delivered, sometimes with real relief attached to it. That same pattern intensity now, Clarity later is exactly what shows up when we come back to money. The financial conversation today is not abstract. It might be a bill, a shared purchase, a loan you extended a while back that has quietly become an expectation. You may feel pressure to contribute more simply because you have helped before, as if past generosity has become a standing invoice. Before you answer from guilt or habit, check the actual numbers, not the emotional math, the real one. Then state clearly what you can reasonably offer and allow the other person to have their reaction to that without rescuing them from it. Being dependable does not require making every problem affordable for someone else today. Here is what makes today genuinely rare and worth sitting with for a second. The Sun-Pluto opposition and the Jupiter-Cazimi are technically unrelated events, but they are pointing at the same lesson from opposite directions. Pluto is forcing you to see where your generosity has outpaced your capacity. Jupiter is simultaneously asking you to recognize the value of what you actually bring to the table. Put those together, and the truth bomb is this: you cannot accurately value your own resources while overextending them for someone else's comfort. Most people will only feel the discomfort today. You now know what it is actually asking of you. Breathe it. That clarity matters even more once the day slows down. Mental and physical wellness today benefit from treating this Sun-Pluto intensity the way you would treat a full inbox, not by ignoring it, but by triaging it. If anxious or obsessive thoughts spike, this is less a day for pushing through and more a day for grounding practices. Journaling the actual numbers if finances are the trigger, a short walk if it is emotional overwhelm, or simply naming out loud what you can and cannot take on right now. Some Vedic practitioners may recommend Saturn-related remedies, certain gemstones, or mantras for individuals whose specific birth charts support them, but that is never universal advice. Gemstone prescription requires personal chart analysis, so treat any such suggestion as a conversation to have with a qualified astrologer, not a blanket fix. What is safe for everyone is simpler: wearing a calming color like blue today, or taking a few quiet minutes to breathe, tends to support steadier focus as the Sagittarius moon adds its restless static to an already intense day. As the day moves toward evening, that restless static tends to settle. You may find, almost surprisingly, that the tasks which felt scattered in the morning get delivered, and that family or friends offer the kind of easy, undemanding company that this whole day has been quietly asking for. You are often the one others confide in, the steady presence people trust with their tangled feelings, but today gently insists that your own voice deserves that same airtime. If a conversation with someone close touches on old patterns of who gives more, this is a good moment to let your perspective be heard rather than absorbed. If travel comes up today, nothing in the chart demands caution, but the same theme applies gently. Do not overcommit your energy just to accommodate someone else's plans. Spiritually, this entire day is really one long invitation to notice the gap between what you feel obligated to give and what you are actually resourced to give, and to trust that closing that gap is not selfishness. It is the beginning of a more honest kind of stability. For a little momentum before the day closes. Blue is your color today, and the window between 5 and 7 in the evening tends to carry a noticeably lighter, luckier feel than the rest of the day, worth keeping open if you can. So if today has felt like too much pressure with not enough clarity, here is the simple version. Check the real numbers before you respond to any financial ask. Name what you can actually offer once, clearly, and let that be enough. Give your own time and skill the same respect you would give a good friend's. And if a solution to something at work has not shown up yet, stop chasing it. It is likely already on its way. You do not need to carry everyone's weight to prove you are dependable, Cancer. You just need to know your own. If this felt like it named something you have been sitting with quietly, that is worth remembering the next time the sky asks you the same question again.